Good evening. Welcome to Global TV's News Cycle. In Nigeria's capital, Abuja, I am Judith Peters. The embattled former national chairman and the secretary of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu and Senator Iola Omisore, respectfully were on Tuesday spotted inside a presidential villa, Abuja, where they met with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu behind closed doors. Adamu and Omisore resigned their position as leaders of the APC early last week, ahead of the scheduled National Caucus and National Executive Council (NEC) meeting, which were to be held on Monday 18th and Tuesday 19th July, respectively. Both Adamu and Omisore were allegedly compelled to resign, though noting that the official confirmed about the reason for their visit. It is believed that it must have been part of efforts to sort out issues surrounding the party's leadership. When rumors about the resignation of the duo emerged, the former chairman, Adamu, had been reported as saying he was not going to make any comment on development until President Tinubu, who was away in Nairobi, Kenya, returns. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed worry over the behavior of some electoral personnel deployed at various levels, as well as the attitude of some party agents and supporters, a situation he noted had added to the extremely challenging environment in the 2023 February and March general elections. Edika Michael tells us more.
In a bid to review the challenges and hurdles from the 2023 Presidential, National Assembly and gubernatorial elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission are meeting with the 18 political parties in order to have one-on-one interactions on the challenges at the political parties' diverse.
As we review the general election, we also need to focus our attention on the forthcoming by-elections and the 3 off-cycle governorship elections.
INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, in his opening remarks, urged that the party agent had the role to play in ensuring free, fair and transparent elections.
The Commission appreciates the role of political parties through the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, and their roles are varied, ranging from voter education within the limits of available resources to off-cycle and general elections. The robust engagement with IPAC with the National Assembly contributed to the 4th and 5th alterations to the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended and the enactment of the Electoral Act 2022. Working in partnership with us, political parties also supported the expansion of voter access to polling units and many innovations introduced by the Commission, including the online pre-registration of voters, nomination of candidates, and the accreditation of party agents.
Yakubu further explained that the use of talks during elections to harass election officials, intimidate voters and disrupt electoral processes must be addressed, stating that the Commission's intention to review the conduct of the 2023 general election with stakeholders is to ensure that glitches experienced are rectified, and the meeting with party leaders is aimed at reviewing the Commission's performance during the last exercise and assess preparations for future elections.
The use of thugs during elections to harass election officials, intimidate voters, and disrupt processes, sometimes resulting in the destruction of election materials or even worse, must be addressed.
In his remarks, the National Chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Yabagi Sani, insisted that INEC performance was commendable, given its ability to largely address its human resource and infrastructural constraints by introducing technology in its operations.
I must also commend our party leaders for their unflinching supports, efforts, and patriotic commitment to the democratic process, with a view to foster a peaceful, united, and productive Nigeria. It's my hope that there will be light at the end of the tunnel so that our labor and that of our heroes past will never be in vain. There is certainly no doubt that the 2023 general elections might have come and gone, but the echoes have continued to reverberate. They do not seem to be in a hurry to fizzle out. Hence, the obvious need for stakeholders' continued robust and sincere discussions on ways and strategies to make the electoral process more transparent, substantially credible, and profoundly inclusive.
At the stakeholders meeting with the political parties, the INEC chairman with IPAC formed alliances and of course reviewed those challenges at the meeting in order to conduct a free and better transparent elections in the future elections in Nigeria. Edikan Michael, Global TV News.
Thank you, Michael. Suspended Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, was today granted bail by a federal high court in Lagos. He was granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira as a surety in like sum. The bail followed a 2-count charge of illegal possession of firearm brought against him by the Department of State Services, DSS. Recall that Emefiele had been in DSS custody for over a month. Emefiele's lawyer, Mr. Joseph Daudu San, had applied for his bail after his client pleaded not guilty to the 2-count charge. Daudu contended that the offense for which Emefiele was charged is bailable. Meanwhile, operatives of the Department of State Services have arrested a top official of Ikoyi Prison on the premises of Federal High Court in Lagos State. The arrest may not be unconnected with the tussle of who keeps custody of the suspended Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele. The Ikoyi Prison official, who was rough-handed and shuffled into the DSS vehicle, was later released by the Secret Service operatives. A mild drama had earlier played out at the Federal High Court, Lagos State, between DSS operatives and officials of the Nigeria Correctional Service as they tussled over the keep's custody of Emefiele. Emefiele was arraigned by the Federal Ministry of Justice for illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, but was granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira with one surety. Following his not guilty plea, as the defendant's lawyer were trying to perfect his bail conditions, a mild drama played out within the court premises between DSS operatives who are fully hooded and NCS over who will take custody of the embattled CBN boss. In a related development, Vice President Kashim Shettima has said Nigeria mobilized over $500 million for innovative, profitable, equitable, and sustainability food system transformation initiative. The Vice President made the disclosure while chairing a high-level meeting on the first day of the UN Food System Summit declared open in Rome, Italy, by the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. This was contained in a statement signed by Olushola Abiola, the Director of Information in the Office of the Vice President. Vice President Shettima said the funds were mobilized through domestic resources, multilateral development banks, international financial institutions, climate funds, leading agro businesses, and would be used for innovation finance for food system transformation, development of Nigeria's agro-value chain, and special agro-industrial processing zone programs. Stating the government's vision about ending hunger, the VP added that the building on the success of the VCDP, the federal government is determined to capacitate Nigerians' rural smallholders and operators, youth and women living below the poverty line to take advantage of the new special processing zones. Vice President Kashim Shettima has said Nigeria is seeking real investment partnership and not handouts from the international community. Shettima disclosed this on Monday while speaking at the Rome UN World Food System Financing Model meeting in a statement through his official Twitter handle. Shettima emphasized that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government aspires to redefine leadership in Nigeria. He stressed that recent policies by Tinubu's government, such as the removal of fuel subsidies and foreign exchange market reforms, are evidence of its open arms to the investment opportunities. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is poised to redefine the meaning and concept of modern leadership in Nigeria, the giant of Africa, which had woken up from its slumber and is now poised to move the world. Nigeria needs no handouts, but real partnership. We have removed the arbitrariness of fuel subsidies and multiple exchange rates from our necks Hence, we are seeking investment for mutually beneficial partnerships, not handouts. A rose following for subsidy removal, Nigeria declared increased revenue for June of about 1.9 trillion naira, from which 907 billion naira was distributed to federal, state, local government. Former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo on Monday tasked Nigerian leaders to unlock and remove the impediment to the country's attainment of its divine stature and status and being kept like an insignificant entity. The former president, who stated this in the keynote address presented via video recording at the launch of the book Reclaiming the Jewel of African, written by former Minister Olusegun Aganga in Abuja, said that total dismantling of the country's reforms would be retrogressive and destructive. He stated that most of the country's leaders do not have an in-depth understanding of the position they aspire to. And the Plateau government is to begin vaccination of 4.3 million cattle to curb the spread of anthrax in the state. Dr. Sipak Shashi, the director of the Plateau State Ministry of Agriculture, made this known on Tuesday in Jos while addressing newsmen. He said that the state government has already bought 200,000 doses of vaccine. Anthrax is caused by the spore-forming bacterium Bacillus anthracis, which primarily affects animals such as cattle, sheep, and goats. The disease can be contracted by humans who come into contact direct with infected animals or contaminated animal products, such as meat, wool, or hide. And this is the news cycle on Global TV, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We'd like to remind you that we're on StarTimes channel 276 and urge you to follow us across social media platforms. Stay tuned for more details. Welcome back. The Nigeria Senate has called on the federal government to intervene and halt the proposed increase in the electricity tariff by distribution companies. Senator Akintunde Abiodun of Oyo Central raised a motion at the plenary on Tuesday. He expressed worries over billions of naira spent on procurement and installation of transformers through various zonal intervention projects as a result of requests in various constituencies. Kikelomo Okere has the details.
Addressing journalists after the plenary session, the senator representing Oyo Central, Akintunde Abiodun, says high increase in electricity tariff will impede industrial growth, job creation, and overall economic development, adding that the proposed increase will significantly impact the affordability for the average Nigerian, thereby exacerbating the financial burdens faced by households and businesses.
That less than 1 week time frame window provided by National Electricity Regulatory Commission for comments from all relevant stakeholders is too small for any meaningful engagement. The Senate is further concerned that high electricity tariff will impede industrial growth, job creation, and overall economic development. This will have adverse effect on the nation's drive towards sustainable development and poverty reduction.
It therefore urged Electricity Regulatory Commission to review the application filed by DISCOs, taking into consideration the interest of citizens, affordability, and the need for improved service delivery. It further urged DISCOs to henceforth discontinue estimated billing and make available electricity prepaid meter at affordable price.
So subsidy has been removed on PMS, that is on petrol, that the temporary hardship Nigerians are going through, if we should allow NERC to approve any increment on electricity tariff now, will just be as if we are trying to steer an horrible troubled water.
Of fuel subsidy has adversely affected the general prices of goods and services within the economy, with a very high rate of pass-through inflation. Electricity is one of the primary factors of production. An increase in electricity tariffs, as currently proposed, will increase the problem of the inflation and compound Nigeria's inflation crisis. While the pros and cons of subsidizing consumption can be debated every day, the benefits of subsidizing production is inherent. Vast multiplier effects in the local economy. I would like to back the motion, which was co-sponsored by myself and aptly read by Senator Yunus Akintunde, by calling on the federal government to intervene as a matter of urgency to halt this proposed increase in tariffs.
The committee, when constituted, will engage the Federal Ministry of Power, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and other stakeholders to find lasting solution to the challenges facing the Nigerian electricity sector. From the National Assembly in Abuja, Kike Lomo Okeri.
Welcome back. The federal government, through the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Medin, Tuesday noted that there won't be a delay in the payment of July 2023 salaries for civil servants. Medin made this known during an interactive section with journalists in Abuja. The Punch had earlier reported that there were delays in the payment of May and June 2023 salaries. Clarifying the situation, Medin noted that the delay in the May and June 2023 salaries was due to some bottlenecks beyond the control of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. She, however, noted that modalities have been put in place to ensure that salaries were paid as at when due. She said for May and June, we encountered some difficulties beyond our control, but I can assure you that everything has been put in place to assure that July 2023 salaries are not delayed and will be paid any moment from now. Also speaking at the dialogue, the head of civil service of the Federation, Folashade Yemieson, noted that workers would smile soon. Yemieson made the comment following questions surrounding palliatives to cushion the effect of the full subsidy removal on civil servants. The Kano State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has intercepted a significant haul of cannabis sativa, squashing a major drug syndicate. In the process, the AG Public Relations Officer of the command, Sadiq Maigatri, made the disclosure in a statement issued on Tuesday. He said the bust, which took place at Garindoa near the bridge of Wudil in the Wudil local government area of Kano State, resulted in the seizure of a whopping 116 bags of cannabis weighing in at an astonishing 1,553.1 kg. The stash included 50 bags of compressed cannabis, with each bag containing 25 blocks, summing up to 1,250 blocks, in addition to 66 bags of loose quantities of the drug. He further said this successful operation was a result of a well-coordinated surveillance operation based on vital intelligence report, along with the coordination of resources and personnel. According to him, the officers who had been on the case for 2 months were able to track and intercept the drugs, which were loaded from Lokoja and en route to Jigawa. During the operation, 2 suspects were apprehended: Jonathan Nuhu, a 45-year-old from Kanke village in Plateau State, and Muhammad Abubakar, an 80-year-old from Kumboso, local government area of Kano State. Days after the management of the Nigeria Ports Authority and the Lagos State government commenced the clearing of shanties along the port access road, the NPA has said there is an increased extortion along the access roads of the Lagos and Tinkan Island port complexes. This was contained in a statement on Tuesday by NPA. The managing director of NPA, Mohammed Bello Koko, during the clearing of the shanties, lamented that these acts of extortion and allied illegalities are injurious to trade facilitation. Trade facilitation is our core function, and we cannot allow these nefarious characters make nonsense of the gateways to the national economy which the ports constitute. He said in the statement, the NPA boss vowed to deal with any staff member involved in the extortion. Bello Koko said, "We had in the past visited punitive measures of our staff where we're complicit in such unethical practices. And I want to reiterate that once we are confronted with evidence of any of our staff involved in this act of sabotage, we would sanction them in line with the public service rules and our conditions of service, which has zone tolerance for such malfeasance." The statement added that Bello Koko had whilst receiving the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Idowu Owonwa, earlier this month at the NPA headquarters, elicited the support of the police in tracking the extortion menace. And now on foreign scene, China named veteran diplomat Wang Yi its new foreign minister on Tuesday, removing former rising star Qin Gang after a mysterious 1 month absence from duties barely half a year into the job. Queen 57, a former aide to President Xi Jinping and envoy to the United States, took over the ministry in December but has not been seen in public since June 25 when he met visiting diplomats in Beijing. The ministry has said it was off work for health reasons but gave no details, speaking speculations and drawing attention to the secrecy often surrounding China's companies, the leadership and decision-making. China has urged fishing boats to seek shelter and farmers to speed up their harvest, while Taiwan suspended annual military drills as Super Typhoon Doksuri spiraled closer to East Asia. Potentially reaching deep into China, Doksuri is likely to be the most powerful typhoon to land in China so far in the storm season this year. China narrowly escaped from Typhoon Mao, one of the strongest tropical cyclones on record for the month of May, which was headed for China but later swung north towards Japan before dissipating nearly 1,000 kilograms in diameter. Doksuri is expected to sweep past lightly populated islands of the northern tip of Philippines by midweek. While fierce winds and heavy rain rush Taiwan to the north, Philippines authorities have already raised storm warning levels in the capital region and dozens of northern provinces and have begun evacuating some coastal communities in the path of the storm. Let's turn to sports now. Former Manchester United striker Teddy Sheringham has predicted a difficult season for the Red Devils in the upcoming 2023/2024 season. Sheringham also said that Brighton will cause other clubs problems this season, adding that the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool will improve. Manchester United under manager Erik ten Hag finished in third place last campaign. The likes of Arsenal and Manchester City finished ahead of the Reds on the Premier League log. Nigeria champions Enyimba will face Ali Benghazi of Libya in the first round of CAF Champions League. The draw ceremony for the 2023/2024 edition of Africa's biggest club competition took place at the CAF headquarters on Tuesday afternoon. Enyimba will travel away from the first leg, which is scheduled for between August 18th and 20th. The reverse fixture will hold in Aba a week later. The winner of the contest will face Idia Cotton Sport, Garoua of Cameroon, or Cote d'Ivoire's ASEC Mimosa in the next round. Enyimba are two-time winner of the CAF Champions League. Nigerians' other representatives in the competition, Remo Stars, are drawn against Ghana's Maidama FC in the first round. Maidama will host the first leg, while the second leg will hold in Ikenne. And that's it on the news cycle on Global TV. Don't forget we're on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform at Global TV NG. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Have a wonderful night, Trace.